Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of my styling. I'm going to show how to manage thinning locks as well as reattaching the locks which are already been lost as we do the parting. Remember, the parting work was very complex, so on this area guys, I'm going to show how to part as well as reattaching the locks which will be lost and repairing the thinning locks. Remember guys, this tutorial is special. On the part of thinning locks guys, I will show you the best way to manage. So let's quickly do the parting. You can see guys, some of the lock strands are very thick than usual. Some of the lock strands are also thinning. This is the most affected part. Now have a look. Some of the strands are not healthy at all. So can I have a look guys? How do you deal with such situation? On this particular case guys, I'm going to show you how to manage such situation. So let's begin by parting. We are going to resize our lock strands to our desired thickness as well as managing the thin locks. And guys, this is one of the thinning locks. And how are we going to manage this thinning lock? On this particular video guys, it's very simple. We are just going to get rid of this lock strand which is unhealthy. Now we are going to manage the remaining lock strand by attaching the remaining hair strands to this strand. So let's do so quickly. That way. Let's attach it guys using our crochet, and this is the way to go about it guys. Remember guys, we are doing lock restoration, and through this guys, you get a lot of challenges as you maneuver around, as you try as much as possible to maintain neatness on whatever you are doing. So whenever you come across lock strands which are not healthy guys, consider cutting such lock strands off. Since we haven't cut off some other lock strands, for instance guys, you can have a look at this. You can even go ahead and replace some of the lock strands which seems to be unhealthy. That is on our model. We are going to do so and replace some of the unhealthy strands with this which we haven't just taken off. So let's continue guys. Now on this particular part, we have two adjacent strands. To manage such case guys, we just need to identify the lock strand which seems to be healthy than the other. On our case, this lock strand here needs to be cut off because it's not healthy according to my examination. And this one guys, the large strand that is which has been left out, its volume seems to be proportional to the portion that I've just parted. So let's quickly attach the loose strands, the hair. On this tutorial guys, I can reiterate on what we just did on the other tutorial, that is part 1. And if you haven't seen part 1 guys, you can go back on the channel, trace that video which shows part 1 of this tutorial. Whenever you're doing crochet guys, usually create some small micro loops thereby going ahead and completing such loops, hence tangling the hair more, thereby coming up with a lock strand. So be aware of the technique on how to precisely apply your technique, not to end up, guys, damaging the lock strands. Remember, guys, you need to use minimal force. If you apply more tension, you'll end up breaking the hair strands. You can as well end up butchering yourself, so you need to be very careful whenever you're doing so. Alright, guys, now we are approaching the hunting area, and with this part you realize that there are so many errors. There are some strands which are as well unhealthy, are thinning out, and we have some strands which have been lost on the way. So let's begin by reattaching a strand at this particular part. When we were doing the parting, we dealt away with some of the strands like these ones. Now we are just going to pick some of the strands which we had just cut off, which seems to be healthy, and attach one of the strands at this particular part. How do we go about that? Guys, kick off by parting your portion to your desired portion, that is. Then you can reattach your lock strand, but first and foremost, guys, make sure you comb the healthy part. Guys, remember, this side is very much affected by this color and the strands are not healthy. So with this side you are good to go. So let's attach the lock strand at this level. Just going to pick my combed part and create a point of intersection here. Create a point of intersection. Try as much as possible and disguise the combed part inside the loose hair which we are managing. So guys, use your crochet, do some movements to and fro as we said there before, and try and tilt your lock strand both sides. You can begin by tilting your lock strand in anti-clockwise manner while working backwards. That way, guys. After that part, the hair strands are already attached to the main lock strand. Now we need to affirm the lock strand in a way that it can't fall off over time. When going backwards, guys, try tilt the lock strand in clockwise manner. Remember, we were tilting the lock strand in anti-clockwise manner as we began while working backwards. Now tilt the lock strand while working towards the roots in a clockwise manner. Have to that point of intersection. Make sure that you try as much as possible to make the point of intersection smooth. That way, guys. Now have a look, guys. This is our lock strand. We have just restored a lock strand at this particular part. Alright, guys, now here I can truly say that confidence has been restored. Now just twist the lock strand a little bit just to give a clear view. Now at this part, I'm afraid, guys, we are going to lose one of the lock strands because there are lock strands which seems to be adjacent, two of them. Let's first begin by parting. Just do your parting, guys. Let's quickly attach the loose hair together by use of our crochet. So I'm gonna use this double hooked crochet tool. Twist your portion in a clockwise manner. You can either, guys, design to go clockwise or anti-clockwise, but when wrapping up, make sure you do a clockwise movement. Now I've somehow attached the lock strands together. Let's smoothen using the single hooked crochet tool. Kindly remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my work, comment and share to your friends. You can as well, guys, support the channel by joining membership. You can make some moves and combine the two strands together up to a certain level. Now from this joint here, you can design which lock strand to do away with and which to retain. On my case, I'm gonna do away with this one that way. Then make sure you smoothen that part in a way that nobody can notice whether there is something that took place at that particular part. You can decide to do your instant crochet up to that part, guys, but always remember to leave behind a protective growth. If not so, just do interlock, or else you can retwist using gel. So let's, now this is the most affected part. And have a look. Like this lock strand is thinning from the roots all the way. Now what are we going to do, guys? We are just going to do away with this lock strand. Let's do away with it. This lock strand seems to be affected too. We are going to deal away with it as well. Let's go ahead and partition. Now this lock strand here seems to be very large than usual, but before we do away with it, and it's also short, before we do away with it, let's extend the growth a little bit. Then we can cut it off at this part. Let's bring in some healthy lock strands. Guys, I've just combed out a healthy lock strand which seems to be smooth and with the size that we want. So just place your combed out part, guys, inside this portion, then wrap it around just to disguise such a strand inside the hair strands. Then use your crochet as usual with minimal tension, guys, to avoid butchering yourself, as well as avoiding chances of breaking the hair strands. Remember that, guys, the hair strands are usually very much elastic, and whenever you push such hair strands beyond their elasticity limit, they will always break, guys. So you can end up cutting off your lock strands by use of this tool if you're not careful. So just apply some minimal tension whenever you do it, as well as mastering the technique, what is happening inside. Do your crochet while tilting the lock strand in a certain direction. Like on my case, I'm doing it clockwise. You can begin by going anti-clockwise, then wrap your crocheting part by going clockwise. Alright, guys, now we are At the finishing area, let's pick a healthy strand as usual. Comb out a healthy part. Make sure you comb out the healthy part which doesn't break while being combed out. So place your combed out part and disguise it inside the hair strands from the divided portion. Guys, let's kick off. I'm gonna kick off by going clockwise while working backwards. Remember, when you repeat at certain point for a long time, all the lock strands which were to be spread along the lock strand will be attached to that point, thus creating a lump at that point. Now guys, when you are doing the crochet, whenever you wanna do that point of intersection, make sure first you go with certain speed all the way back to this level. Then you can repeat the same procedure while going backward. And whenever you're going backward, try guys and tilt the lock strand to the opposite direction. That is to create more loops on different side, so as to tangle the point of intersection further. After reaching that point, if you feel like your point of intersection is not much smooth, repeat the procedure. Then this time round, tilt it in a clockwise manner while working backwards. That way guys, all the way back. Be aware not to repeat the crochet at certain point for a longer time, because you might end up breaking the lock strands. And then how do you pull the crochet out of the lock strand? Whenever you want to pull out the crochet from the lock strand, pull it, then bend it a little bit so that the hook can let off the loop. That way now guys, you will not end up breaking the hair strands. Whenever you want to move from point A to point B, make sure you lose your loops by bending the crochet that way, so that the hook can let off the loop, and then you move to point B that way. And now this becomes our point of intersection. You can have a look guys, very firm. It can withstand the test of time. Guys, now we are through with parting as well as reattaching lock strands which were lost, as well as dealing with the thin locks. Now we are going to trim the locks. And why are we trimming the locks, guys? Our model needs the locks to a certain level, and all the same guys, it's another way of treatment, considering that she had done color before, and the color which was done on her hair was a high concentrate. And that way guys, when you do a high concentrate color, ends up weakening the lock strands. That way guys, you will find your lock strands creating puff. Can I have a look at this part? The lock strands are creating that puff. They are not well locked. So that's how color affects your lock strands. At times you'll find the lock strands breaking. Can I have a look at this guys? You'll find the lock strands breaking. Can also this, can have a look, very weak. So guys, my advice to you is that to get rid of, wow. Okay guys, my advice to you is that you get rid of high concentrate colors. Try and use colors that are mild, that can protect your locks, thus giving your locks some longer life. So let's trim the lock strands to a certain level. So guys, now we are trimming the locks. So we are going to attain that bob look Now we have just trimmed our lock strands to our desired level. That is, we wanted to do that bob look. This is our new look. You can have a look, the front area, the parting, and the size of the lock strands all the way up to this part. Guys, now we are going to do the finishing kick, and our finishing kick is gonna consist of interlocks. So we are going to do that on our next tutorial. Thank you for staying logged on my channel. Thank you for trusting in me, and I hope we shall move together to the next tutorial as I show how to manage the protective growth. Thank you guys for staying logged, and I hope that my tutorial was very informative as well as being educative. Guys, I promise to bring more tutorials of such, and I want to urge you guys to move with me to the next tutorial, whereby we shall be showing part 3 of this particular tutorial, which will consist of interlocking. So guys, like my work, comment and share to your friends. You can as well guys support the channel by joining membership. So thank you.